What's up, guys? So UFC 250 just wrapped up. Absolutely amazing card, and we know it by now. Whenever cards are set to be not good or they're not stacked, it's a quote-unquote bad card. Those are the cards you want to watch because for some reason they always deliver. On paper, UFC 250 was supposed to be one of the worst cards of all time, yet it delivered better than most cards we've ever seen. How many finishes? 7 finishes of 12 fights tonight, and they weren't just finishes. These were knockout of the year contenders, submission of the year contenders. I mean, just an outstanding card from top to bottom. And we're going to start that main event. So Amanda Nunes defeats Felicia Spencer 50-45 and 2 50-44s. She just made it look like it was sparring. We gotta give credit to Felicia Spencer. She may be the most durable, the best chin we've ever seen in women's MMA. She alone was able to take more shots than pretty much all of Amanda Nunes' opponents. Those right hands that Spencer ate knocked out Cris Cyborg, knocked out Ronda Rousey, knocked out fighter after fighter. Spencer just ate them all, and she just tried to keep fighting. But Nunez was too quick, her takedown defense was too good, her grappling level was way higher than what Felicia Spencer was capable of. In the power, even though it didn't rock Felicia Spencer too much in the fight, it did make her respected greatly to the point where Spencer didn't even go forward that much. She was kind of just sitting back on the cage, and Nunez was having a field day of just doing what she wanted. If she wanted to take it to the ground, she was able to do that. If she wanted to land the right hand, she was able to do that. Land the jab, she was able to do that. Leg kicks, whatever she wanted to do, it was landing and it was working. I personally thought that Felicia Spencer was going to be a bit more aggressive and try to go for the takedown a lot more frantically and make the fight very dirty, but from the get-go, right from the first round, she just backpedaled even when she wasn't getting hit, which threw me off because to fight Amanda Nunes, you gotta bring the fight to her. Even though her cardio is way better than ever was before, she definitely has 5-round cardio. The best way still is to push the pace against her so she doesn't target practice on you like that, you know? Even still, Felicia Spencer was most likely not gonna win, but that's kind of what I thought Felicia Spencer would try to do in the fight. And who these two should be fighting next? Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko 3 is the fight to happen next. There's nothing for either of them. They're both so dominant, they're both so good. No one else can really fight them. It's crazy. They scattered from the 135-pound division to 145 and 125, and they just completely dominated 3 weight classes together. It's insane to think about. I do think Amanda Nunes will still win, but their rematch, most people I talk to about it think that Shevchenko won the rematch. Everybody thinks Nunez won the first. Most people think Shevchenko won the second. Looking at how dominant Nunez is in her fights, it's crazy to think that there was some fighter that had a controversial fight that many people thought beat her. That's the fight that has to happen at 135. I understand Amanda Nunes doesn't want to go down. It's a hard cut, and she said that the cut to 135 against Germaine de Randamie was pretty hard on her. If they can't do Shevchenko because of the weight difference, let's do open weight. Let's get Gabby Garcia in the UFC. Let's see how that fight goes down. Because there's nothing left. There's really no interest in anything else for Amanda Nunes, to be honest. Who's at 135? Aspen Ladd? Did we not just see what Germaine de Randamie did to that poor girl? It would be horrifying what Nunez would do to Aspen Ladd. Who else? Megan Anderson? I don't want to see that either. It'll be a takedown in the first round and just domination from there. And to be honest, Amanda Nunes can just retire. She defended both her belts. The only thing maybe is just try to break Ronda Rousey's record of title defenses in the bantamweight division, because she already has the record in the featherweight division, so might as well try to break the bantamweight, beat Aspen Ladd, Renee Aldana, call it quits if she can't fight Shevchenko for some reason. And as for Felicia Spencer, I don't really know. There's no one else in the division, unless they add more fighters. And then we go to the co-main event. Cody Garber knocks out Rafael Assunção in the second round, 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Man, Cody 2.0 is the man that might take over this division. He fought so intelligently. He was so sharp. He was so fast. He made a guy like Rafael Assunção seem like he shouldn't have been in there with him. To knock him out the way he did, he went with a hard drop to confuse Assunção, but he went with his hands low and kept his eyes on him the entire time. It looked like something you do in sparring. It looked like something you do just to mess around with your sparring partner. He rose up and Assunção took the bait. He aimed low as he saw the head of Garbrandt drop. Garbrandt was that fast to rise up and land that right hook flush on Assunção, face planted. That might be the knockout of the year so far. It's crazy that he did it to such a genius of a defensive mind. To catch him with something like that, that's insane to think about. Assunção is such a hard guy to hit clean. He frustrates everybody in fights, and even throughout the fight, those leg kicks were adding up and just hurt Assunção's movement. He had to keep switching stances that might have threw him off his game a bit, and nobody really expected Garber to go with that many leg kicks. He was just so fast, and he never got into that brawl mentality even when he got hit, and when he rocked Assunção in that second round before the knockout. This is the guy. This is the guy we all wanted to see. This is the guy that might dominate the division and rule it for a long time. And who I want to see these two fight next? There's only one fight I want to see. Cody Garber at 2.0 versus Marlon Moraes. That's the only fight I want to see. Two powerhouses, extremely fast fighters who go for the knockout. Man, I don't even know who would win that fight. That would be an amazing fight, and the winner of that should be considered for the next title shot after Aljamain Sterling, of course. And as for Rafael Sunsao, I'd like to see him fight Dominic Cruz. They're both vets of the game, both coming off finished losses, and it's crazy to think that they never fought each other. That's the fight that should happen next for them two. And then we go to Aljamain Sterling submitting Corey Sandhagen in the first round, 1 minute and 28 seconds. So we all know that the winner of this was going to get a title shot, and they needed to make a big statement to clarify their shot. Aljamain Sterling did it so easily. Rushed Corey Sandhagen right from the get-go, and I think it caught Sandhagen off guard. Sterling doesn't usually come out that strong. Came out there throwing kicks and eventually caught the kick of Sandhagen, went for the single leg, eventually got the back, and the speed that he sunk those hooks in is still mind-boggling. I had to re-watch it a few times just to see how quick he did it. I had to see which leg he got in first because he did it almost simultaneously. Instantly got the back of Corey Sandhagen, got it to the ground, stretched his body out as he was crushing the face, and then eventually just got the neck. I said before this fight, I thought the striker would go to Sandhagen. I thought it would be pretty difficult because of his movement, but perhaps the small cage limited the amount of space that Sandhagen needed to work with and allowed Sterling to drive a takedown to the cage a lot easier. And I did say if Sterling got it to the ground, Sandhagen was going to be in a lot of trouble. I didn't think it would be that quick. I didn't think Sterling would be able to take the fight down that quickly. And when he did, man, it was not even close. Their skill set are so far apart when it comes to the ground game. It just makes Aljamain Sterling seem like another world beater. We got Cody Garber as a world beater now, and Aljamain Sterling looks like a world beater as well. And he deserves the next title shot, 100%. To be honest, I think they're rushing the title shot a little bit too quickly. I want to see Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Jose Aldo lost his last fight. Even if he counted as a win, it was really close. He only had one fight in the bantamweight division. He's coming off 2 losses in the featherweight division. Aljamain Sterling for sure deserves it more than Jose Aldo. So I just wish that they waited until this fight happened, and then they matched up Sterling with Petr Yan because Sterling took no damage. He's 100% fresh, ready to go very soon. But whatever, man, he's going to get the next title shot. He's going to wait it out. He's going to fight the winner of Aldo versus Petr Yan at the end of the year, and that's going to be an amazing fight. I'm going to have to say this, though. If he fights Jose Aldo, I don't really see him winning. It's such a hard fight for him. He's not going to get it to the ground. He's going to strike with Aldo. That's going to be really risky. What if he goes up against Petr Yan? Now that's an interesting one. Because the scrambles in the clinch and trying to take the fight to the ground is going to actually make Petr Yan work. And the kicks can absolutely disrupt the boxing of Yan, so that would be an interesting one. And as for Corey Sandhagen, I would not be opposed to him fight Sean O'Malley, but because they're so far in the rankings, I would like to see him fight Pedro Munoz, or they could do it versus Dominic Cruz. To be honest, that's the most interesting stylistic matchup, so there's a lot of options for the bantamweight losers of tonight. I missed the Neil Magny fight. I was busy doing a breakdown. And then we go to Sean O'Malley defeating Eddie Weiland by knockout in the first round, 1 minute and 54 seconds of the fight. Another knockout of the year contender. I mean, one shot walk-off knockout, not to the level of Cody Garbrandt's, but it was spectacular. A lot more flashy, tried a lot of things, a lot of kicks, and looked for some combinations for his punches that weren't landing initially, but then he rocked Eddie Weiland, which a lot of people missed. He threw that body kick, Eddie Weiland tried to counter him, and Sean O'Malley caught him with a counter right hook that wobbled Eddie Weiland, and he just did not recover after that. And it's the reason why Weiland just walked into the right hand. Yes, the uppercut was a fake, and Eddie did bite on it, but he gotten so close uncharacteristically without doing anything with his hands low, it didn't even matter. O'Malley's fast enough to just throw out the right straight and would have caught him. Because even before that, we saw the same sequence, exact same sequence actually, before Eddie got rocked, and he was just able to move away. Didn't get caught by the right hand. Sean O'Malley and Cody Garbrandt are probably the fastest fighters in this division. The speed this guy displayed out there with the kicks, I mean, his kicks were faster than the punches of Eddie Weiland. The speed of his footwork was crazy to see too, and also, the small cage worked against his movement. Yet he still made it work. And not only did he make it work, but he was constantly moving into the power hand of a guy who also has one-shot knockout power, and did it in a smaller cage. Like, he was that confident against a vet like Eddie Weiland. It was a big jump in competition, but still, even at that, he needs a big bump from here. So I can see him fight many people. He could fight Cody Stamann, and that'd be a good fight. Corey Sandhagen going to be an interesting one as well. If they want to do Rafael Sunsao, it depends how fast they want to rise him in the ranks, because it's clear at this point, the building process is over. It's complete. Now it's time to put him up against the challengers of this division. And personally, the one I like to see the most, I like to see him versus Corey Sandhagen. That's a very interesting stylistic matchup. And as for Eddie Weiland, really anybody at this point. Because Brian Kelleher also lost tonight, that'd be an interesting fight. And then we go to Ellis Casseras defeating Chase Hooper by decision. Didn't really surprise me the way this fight went down. Chase Hooper's striking is just not up to par at all, especially compared to Ellis Casseras. He leaves his chin open, he doesn't really have power in his strikes, he doesn't put things together really well, he's very gumpy, he seems very uncomfortable striking, just in general. And Casseras just countered the entire time, counter right hook, dropped him early, did nothing too crazy, nothing too risky, just made a very easy, plain out counter striking contest, picking at Chase Hooper. And even his takedown defense was pretty good. Able to stuff some of the scrambles that Hooper was trying to go for, that he's able to usually get fights down with. And he just was the vet with a clear, well-rounded game, able to stifle anything that Hooper was trying to do. Ian Heinisch had a pretty good knockout, a blitzing of an overhand, pretty much shut the fight down early. Cody Stamann made a statement, and he looked really good at featherweight, really big and powerful, and he fought a little bit different than I've ever seen before. He was sitting on his punches, he was very assertive, staying in the center of the cage, his defense was on point, his head movement was perfect, shoulder rolling punches as well. He's come a long way, man. I've actually trained with him before, like years ago, and it's personally crazy to see how far he's come with his striking. He's always been an amazing grappler, an amazing wrestler, and he's very strong when he gets a hold of you. With the progression of his striking, I can see him being a top 7, top 5 fighter very soon, but I don't know if he's gonna change when he goes down to bantamweight. Is this style, just because he went up to featherweight, didn't have to cut a lot of weight? I know he cuts so much. I wonder if this is not the same Cody Stamann that we're going to see at bantamweight. I want to see him stay at featherweight, to be honest, and be healthy and powerful. And I got to catch up on all the other fights. So great night of fights, one of the best cards of the year so far, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Leave in the comments below, what did you guys think about the card? And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to thumbs up. If you enjoyed my content, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.